would be Congress's and UPA's strategy in terms of giving at least the trapping of a new look, governance in the run-up to say in the next 2 years?
See, Venu, last 1.5 to 2 years of any government are the most difficult years, and the government in power should introspect and do some introspection, and after introspection must take some big course corrections. I think it's not easy when there is a coalition government because it has its own contradictions. But what you may be trying to sort of talk about is the entry of younger people into the government.
Exactly.
I think what is more important now is to look at the bigger challenge of fighting the 2014 parliament election. And there should be more concentration and more effort and more thinking towards that rather than functioning. The functioning of this government, if you see, but for few issues, by and large has been consistent. Now, but the point of new people coming into the government, I think is quite restricted. There are not very many faces which can be brought around.
We have one sitting here.
No, as you know, Shikhar,
your 10 years is getting over now, no? Next 6 months.
November 2013.
No, even in a life sentence, you get celebrations for good conduct.
You could be flexible about 7
I'm not sure of good conduct.
Because 7 months flexibility is also.
I'm quite happy what I'm doing, and that too, joining government at this stage.
No, the government needs political government at the top. Government is short of political. It really is.
Well, if you see, Shekhar, I think 2-3 issues which have really sort of been highlighted. I think the CAG report of 2G, which I think was highly exaggerated, 1,72,000 crores.
In fact, he's struggling to better that figure since then, with every new scandal. Now
yes.
He's 11,000 lakh crores.
This is what I'm saying, that CAG is not an investigative agency. It is a bookkeeping agency. It's an audit agency, constitutional audit body. Therefore, I think a lot of weight has been given by the media and everyone concerned by the CAG report. Looking at the CAG report. After that also, if you see the 2G issue, it was auctioned during Mr. Narasimha Rao's tenure. Then the people who had taken the tender felt that some policy changes had to be done, and the same players were from the contractual agreement, they were brought to profit sharing agreement. This then was again, when the 2G was distributed, this was done to the existing players rather than bringing the new players. So I think let's not go into the leveling charges against each other. But the fact remains that the concept of tender, which the Narasimha government had done, and then later on 3G was auctioned. The issue was that whether 2G, when UPA came to power, should have been auctioned or not. And it was not auctioned because it was felt that if you bring in new players and they have to come into this field after sort of waiting for an auction, there will not be a level playing field for those sector companies. So I think this was highly exaggerated. Yes, the mistake was a selective, I would say, the way A. Raja selected the new entrant. That was, of course, very faulty, for which he has suffered.